here to watch the show.
There's a show?
Yeah.
Can we watch?
No, because we are the show. See, look, see right above my head? This is the wrestling rundown. That's us. Our names are at the bottom of the screen.
Huh. How long has this been going down?
About a year and a half.
You've been watching the whole time?
Some of them.
Hey.
Just say this is the midweek wrap up.
This is the midweek wrap-up.
Say this is the midweek wrap up.
What he said.
God damn it. Welcome to the midweek wrap up. And we're going to start with the main event like we always do.
We do.
Except for that time,
every time. Yeah, oh God, don't remind me. I almost had that out of my head completely. You had to fucking bring it up. I'm going to kick you in the face.
I got a story that's going to remind you about it later when we talk about some news. But we open up with Brie Bella taking on Becky Lynch.
Yeah, this match was pretty good.
Yeah, great Divas match. Brie was super over. They were really close to the Bella twins' hometown. So
Scottsdale.
Lots of
they was in Phoenix.
Lots of fan interaction for the Bellas. We had kind of a weird ending to it. Becky almost got Brie to tap out to the disarmer. Brie got to the ropes, and apparently Charlotte had an issue with how close Alicia Fox and Nikki were to where Brie's foot was, and so she gets up on the apron to talk to the ref, and that allows Nikki to actually grab Becky's hair and snap her back, and she gets back up, and Brie hits her with a yes factor.
Snapped her back, broke it in like 8 places.
Bro, she had a broken neck in retirement. Don't be putting that kind of...
Well, it made me jump a little bit because when she pulled her back, she hit the back of her head on the bottom rope.
Yeah, exactly.
And we know how dangerous that is.
Yeah. Don't be putting no bad juju on Becky Lynch.
She get all the good juju.
Yes Factor picks up the win for Brie Bella. We move on to Stardust taking on Zack Ryder.
This was good.
Yeah, this was fun. Zack Ryder was aggressive in this one.
Yeah, man, he had Stardust paint all over the bottom of his boot.
Because he broski booted him right in the side of the head.
Yeah.
It was a pretty gnarly shot. But Zack ends up going for the Rough Rider and gets caught powerbomb style. And then they turn it around and he tries to Rana backwards out of the ring with Stardust.
Which didn't go that successfully.
Yeah, it wasn't the most fluid of Ranas. But he tosses Stardust back in the ring, and he's getting ready to climb back up on the apron, and he's distracted slightly by the Ascension.
Yeah, all this outside interference going on in the main event.
And then as he's trying to get back into the ring, Stardust kicks him, sets him up perfectly for the Queen's crossbow, hits it, picks up the win, and starts humping in everybody's direction.
Yeah, right up all in the commentator's face.
Jimmy Uso's like, alright, this is getting weird.
And then he tells everybody to calm down.
Yeah. And then our main event was supposed to be Neville versus Rusev.
It was Neville versus Rusev.
It went for a second, but when we came back from commercial...
1 second.
Yep, it was just 1 second, that was over. It's that quick.
That's how fast Neville is.
Yep.
You could have probably beat him in 1 second.
The match, I'd say we probably had about 3 or 4 minutes of actual action. We went to a commercial break, and we came back, and the referee and the doctor were discussing something. And noticeably, Rusev's right bicep was really
misshapen.
Yeah, it was way bigger than it normally is, and so the bell ends up ringing, and this pisses Rusev off. He is just he's lost. He's like, what? He's saying something in Bulgarian. I'm sure it was like, what the hell do you think you're doing?
It's probably like shit, piss, cock, motherfucking goddamn son of a bitch. Cunty face.
He did that a lot because, the doctor and the referee decided to stop the match due to medical reasons.
Due to medical injury.
Yeah.
As opposed to the other kinds of injuries.
Well, Eden was still, her mind was blown from Stardust humping everything.
Oh, he did one right in her direction.
That's because he's married to her. He's allowed to.
Yeah.
Neville ends up technically winning by forfeit, and Rusev just
I think they should have ruled a no contest.
Rusev just kicks shit around. He smacks the commentator's table real hard, and we get like feedback in the commentary.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm thinking about this, I have a huge qualm with the fact that Neville won by forfeit.
Okay.
I have a huge qualm. because it was very obvious from the way he played it off that Rusev did not want to quit.
Mm.
And I don't think you should be allowed to force somebody into forfeiture.
No, but ref stoppage or injury that doesn't allow you to continue usually results in a forfeit. If someone's injured and doesn't, if they can't make it to the ring, that's technically a forfeit. If they are not able to continue in the competition, that in some technicality results as this person refuses to continue, whether it's by their choice or not.
Yeah, I still think it should be a no contest.
Regardless,
because that means Neville gets a free pass into the I Beat Rusev Club.
Well, no, because we judge that by pinfall. Pinfall or submission gets you into the I Beat Rusev Club. And Neville was not happy with this either. He was visibly upset that the match had to be stopped as well, which is unfortunate. And so now we'll transition into our news, starting with the fact that the rumor going around now is that Rusev has a torn bicep. It
looked messed up.
Yeah, sure. There was definitely something wrong with it. There's no confirmed diagnosis on it. We'll probably know that in the next couple of days. We might get an update on tomorrow's SmackDown, so we'll have to wait and find out for that one. A couple other news stories. Kurt Angle talked about just recently that he's not going to re-sign with TNA once his contract is up. And he actually just signed a contract with Bellator MMA. Which...
because he's probably too old for Dana White to be interested.
Probably. And then it gets even more strange because he's going to be there on November 5th for their Fan Fest, which is the day before Bellator 145. And now there's rumors circulating because both Kurt Angle and Ken Shamrock posted, big news, or they tweeted out big news coming from Bellator. The rumor is that Kurt Angle's going to fight Ken Shamrock in an MMA style fight, or in a staged fight like we saw Kimbo versus Ken Shamrock just a couple months ago.
Yeah, or I like to call it the Shambo.
That's a good name for it.
Not only do I combine their two names, but I also call it out for what it really was.
I don't think this is a good idea for Kurt Angle at all.
Yeah, no.
He's got such a history with injury. Like, why would you want to go into something that's going to injure you more?
Yeah, no. I mean, like, you could say the same thing for Punk in a way. CM Punk going into UFC. I mean, we know he's had, surgically repaired on both knees and an elbow.
Yeah.
But then the big difference is that Punk's a lot younger than Kurt Angle.
True.
And, Kurt Angle's messed up his neck a lot.
Mm-hmm. He's broken it like 3 times.
So, yeah, I'm really on the fence about it.
Yeah, it's...
Because I'm like, it could be a cool thing for Kurt Angle to do, but also... Kurt Angle's going to kill himself.
It's a lighter schedule, but more physically demanding when you're actually in the fight. Because you're like, you're not relying on the other person to protect you, because the other person's trying to knock you the fuck out.
Yeah. I guess, to me, the big positive out of this is we never really got to see Kurt Angle and Ken Shamrock fight in WWE.
Yeah, okay. There's a positive spin on it.
Which is, there's a comparison that's made a lot.
Yeah.
Because they both came from professional backgrounds as wrestlers / fighters. Mm-hmm. And they come in and they both use the ankle lock.
Yeah, and they were both fantastic WWE superstars.
Yeah.
So, yeah, alright. Well, I'll watch Kurt Angle versus Ken Shamrock, regardless of how staged an MMA fight might be. Lucha Underground, our second favorite part of the midweek wrap-up when it's around. Did
they do something cool?
Yeah.
Is there a show?
Yeah.
We're talking about it right now?
Yeah. It's called Lucha Underground.
Who wrestled on it?
Everybody.
They didn't have a show yet, did they?
Not yet.
Damn, man.
Season 2 will begin shooting in just a couple weeks. It'll be November 14th. They have 12 dates signed for TV tapings.
Nice.
And the general consensus is they're going to be doing about 2 episodes per taping. So we're going to see about 24 episodes in season 2 of Lucha Underground.
Cool.
So a nice
How
solid...
many episodes were there in season 1?
I want to say that was right around the same. I want to say it was like 20-ish. So I think I mean even if it is the same as last season. Last season felt very solid, and I'm glad that they're coming back. And if 24 episodes is all I'm going to get, I'm going to enjoy those 24 episodes for season 2.
Yeah.
So that'll start. They've got November through January. They've got 6 different weekends, back-to-back days where they're going to be taping shows.
My one thing that I'm going to comment about Lucha Underground is I think having Alberto Del Rio go back to WWE is kind of a kick in the shin for Lucha Underground.
I personally don't think that's as big of a shot to Lucha Underground as a lot of people think, because he wasn't that big of a staple there.
Yeah.
I mean, he spent a lot of time away just doing AAA shows. Granted, he had the big feud with Johnny Mundo, but he wasn't something that everyone was tuning in every week to see, because you had so many other stars.
Yeah, for me though, it's taking one of the few guys who were very recently relevant in WWE prior to Lucha Underground.
Okay.
Because there are a few people who were in Lucha Underground that were in this pseudo era of WWE to bring fans from one to the other.
Right.
And like Big Rick, but I doubt anybody from WWE is going, oh, I'm gonna start watching Lucha Underground because Ezekiel Jackson.
Well, he just retired too, so
is on Lucha Underground. But Del Rio, being a guy who was a former 3-time WWE champion.
Yeah.
A lot of people go, oh fuck, I know Alberto Del Rio from WWE. Let's watch this show.
Yeah. Well, I would say in that regard, Johnny Mundo is probably bringing in a few more fans than Del Rio. Granted, Del Rio is more relevant as far as being a WWE superstar upon his entering, but people know Johnny Mundo from his stint in WWE.
Yeah.
So, but regardless, Lucha Underground's coming back, and we're excited for it.
Yeah.
We're gonna move on to some signings that just got announced this week. The Young Bucks officially signed a contract with Ring of Honor this past week. You can see the video on our Facebook. It was shared there. You can also check out the Young Bucks Facebook page as well. Yeah, so we'll be seeing them on ROH TV a bit more. We're actually going to see them this week. We'll have results. They're going to be facing Silas Young and the Beer City Bruiser in a tag team match.
I know what happens. Nope.
Okay. And then other signings, Patrick from Tough Enough officially signed a developmental deal with WWE today. Today being Wednesday, Thursday for you, whatever day you're watching this. But yeah,
next Thursday.
But he is joining a list of 19 other, he is the 19th, 18 other talents starting with the Performance Center coming up here pretty soon.
Performance Center's going to get full.
Yeah,
It's already pretty full.
According to what I read, on top of these 19, they're joining 57 other trainees.
Yeah, which still include most of the people who are on the NXT roster already.
Yeah, and this list of 19 includes ZZ signing. This does include Josh and Sarah Lee, who won Tough Enough. Mata, Daria, and Amanda all got signed. There's a couple other wrestlers. Rich Swann was on there. There's some football players. There's some MMA fighters. So lots of new faces going to be coming into the Performance Center.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we'll get to see these people on Breaking Ground.
Probably not.
Maybe
if they have a season 2.
Yeah.
Because a lot of this stuff, the thing is with the TV shows, like all the episodes of Breaking Ground are pretty much already filmed.
Yeah, if you haven't seen Breaking Ground, check it out. It's a fantastic show. I guess season 2 we're kind of leading into because there's a conversation between Triple H, Sasha, and Bayley talking about main eventing this past takeover. So
Yeah.
But yeah, so lots of new faces coming in, lots of new potential for NXT, and we're going to use that to transition right into NXT.
What?
Check that shit out. We open up. We're talking about it.
Is this a show?
Yes. So we open up with Emma and Dana Brooke coming out. Emma is taking on Shazza McKenzie.
Yeah, or just Shazza.
Shazza.
WWEing it up.
Yeah.
With their name removal system.
Well,
fuck off. Alexander Rusev, Big E Langston,
Antonio Cesaro,
Shazza McKenzie. She's on the level with those three.
Yeah.
For sure.
Emma showing a lot of aggression and dominance in this match.
Yeah, well, you know...
Shazza really didn't get much offense in this.
No, and I think it's one of the things that needs to happen because I think Emma is one of the constantly most overlooked divas in NXT.
Yeah. NXT is doing wonders for her because now we're getting to see the evolution of the evil Emma character.
Yeah.
Which is something that would not have worked on the main roster. They tried it and it failed.
Well, I mean, to me, it's just the big deal is she was really overlooked during the build-up of Bayley, Sasha, Charlotte, and Becky.
That's because she was technically on the main roster, she just wasn't being used.
Yeah, well, I mean, she makes sporadic appearances on NXT.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's kind of like saying the way, like, Natty was for most of this big Divas revolution with, you know, Nikki Bella as the champion and Paige and AJ and now the upbringing of Charlotte and Sasha and all the teams. You know, it's very much like the way Natalya was overlooked now, or seemingly overlooked. Emma's been overlooked on NXT a lot because they had all them. And then as they're moving out, we're seeing all these other new divas come in, Dana Brooke and Asuka and Billie Kay, Nia Jax, and Peyton Royce, and kind of being like, oh, look at all these new people coming in, but we're still not getting the, but Emma, who's been here for a while, you know, what are you doing with her? So I think she definitely needs to do something like this to bring herself to the forefront and make herself more relevant.
Yeah, and it helps that she has an annoying mouthpiece like Dana Brooke at her ringside with her too. But yeah, she ends up hitting the Emmamite sandwich in the corner and then pulls Shazza to the middle and goes to set up for the Emma lock, but before she puts the submission on, she hits a curb stomp, which was messed up. Yeah. Then she locks in the Emma lock, getting Shazza to tap out. We had Tom Phillips interview James Storm after his debut last week. You know, James Storm is excited. It was really, you know, he talked about how it was cool to hear the NXT universe say that he deserved to be there. Reminded him of, you know, how supportive his mom was in his wrestling career, and that, you know, James Storm is in NXT, and if anyone has a problem with it, sorry about your damn luck. I like that I get to say that and I don't have to watch TNA to do it. Then we had a fantastic tag team match.
Absolutely phenomenal.
Right.
Phenomenal.
Jason Jordan and Chad Gable taking on Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Bless you.
There was a lot of names there.
It is a lot of syllables in Gargano, Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa.
Yeah.
There's a lot of syllables for one team.
That's how you know they're indie talent. Just Gable.
That's why they just stopped Shazza McKenzie from being Shazza McKenzie. Like, you got way too many syllables in your name.
You have Z's. Good lord.
Where's two? That's like pizza.
Or ZZ.
Top.
No, ZZ the tough enough guy.
Oh.
Gable was the star of this match.
Well, okay.
If you had to pick one.
If you didn't know already from the reception they got at TakeOver,
yes,
Gable is so goddamn over.
He is fantastic in the ring. Him and Ciampa started off with just great chain wrestling. Their test of strength. Like they literally had, like, you know, as weird as it might sound, they held hands for probably the first 2 minutes of this match.
Yeah.
Just locking up. They did the bridging bit, and then Gable ends up just going to town as far as chain wrestling goes on Ciampa, gets the advantage. Jason Jordan looking hella strong in this, using his strength to his advantage. Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa make an amazing team.
A lot of good chemistry.
Just
a lot of good indie style tag team spots.
Yeah, the use it. Gable ends up sending Gargano over the ropes to the outside, and Ciampa kind of goads him into following him like off the ropes. And as they're coming back across, Johnny ends up hitting the slingshot spear and like spear him right in the chest, which was how.
Yeah, Gable's kind of short.
And then another cool thing that was great about this match is that because the reception was so strong for Jordan and Gable, Ciampa and Gargano kind of took over that heel role, and they started cutting off the ring, keeping Gable over on their side, not using the shadiest of tactics, but still using a little bit of heel tactics to get the advantage at some points.
Yeah. I want to say one thing about Chad Gable. With as well as Kurt Angle transitioned from amateur wrestling, from whatever you want to call it, Olympic wrestling to professional wrestling. Chad Gable coming from that same pedigree, an Olympian coming into wrestling. But in my head, I'm going, I don't feel like Kurt Angle was as good as he was this early into his career as Chad Gable is now.
Yeah, I agree to an extent, because I feel like because Attitude Era WWE and NXT are two very different wrestling styles, there's so much so much of an indie influence in NXT, and Attitude Era WWE was just so straightforward professional wrestling. Like, Kurt Angle didn't quite get to show everything he was capable of early on. And I feel like the indie style really works for Chad Gable, because he's able to go out there and just use what he knows and just amp it up.
Yeah.
Angle was more into the character of just being annoying as opposed to showing off his style. And I think the fact that we kind of blur the lines between face and heel nowadays, it works more for Chad Gable than it would have Kurt Angle back 15 years ago.
Yeah. So what I'm going to say here is that just knowing how well Angle grew so quickly in his career, because he had probably the best rookie year in WWE until maybe Brock Lesnar.
Yeah.
Because they basically accomplished all the same things in their rookie year. They both won King of the Ring. They both won the WWE Championship.
Angle won more titles.
Yeah. But seeing how well Angle transitioned and just became such a phenomenal wrestler, to 1 year into his career, how I thought just in a 1 year span of time he was so much better than he was when he first debuted. That I'm saying Chad Gable, as good as he is now, if he evolves at the same rate Kurt Angle did, he'll be one of the best guys.
Can you imagine
to come out of NXT?
Rollins versus Gable?
Yeah.
That'd be fantastic.
By the way, I'm super ridiculously stoked at the idea that Seth Rollins is openly interviewing, taking interviews, saying to whatever media outlet he can get his hands on that he wants to have a match against AJ Styles.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Make that happen, please. Anyway, back to the match. Jordan ends up being the one who kind of gets double teamed towards the end by Gargano and Ciampa. He is actually able to power through.
He got the hot tag and drop kicked the shit out of both guys.
Yeah, he ends up tossing Johnny out of the ring, and then he's able to get over and just run around Ciampa and knock him down. Tags in Gable. They hit their big assisted back suplex, and Jordan and Gable pick up the win in a fantastic match. If you haven't seen it, watch it.
Yeah.
Now, pause the video.
NXT specifically was worth watching for that match alone.
Yes, that was by far match of the night. And we still have Tyler Breeze versus Samoa Joe to happen.
Yeah.
We had Bayley talking about Alexa's views on Bayley not deserving to be champion.
Why were they pausing the video?
To go watch that match.
Oh, okay. Unpause the video first. Now that you're done.
Yeah. Pause the video. Go watch the match, then come back. Ready? Go. You're still watching? Bayley was talking about Alexa, saying that she doesn't deserve to be champion, that Alexa deserves it more than she does. And Bayley's like, I don't know where she's getting this. You know, she's just jealous. She's changed a lot since she started hanging out with Blake and Murphy, and I've stayed the same. And you know,
I mean, she's turned into a whore.
Jeez. And Bayley...
She's changed a lot since she started hanging out with the boys.
Bayley has stayed the same. She plans on being that way, and she plans on doing it as NXT Women's Champion.
Yeah, for real. And yeah, I don't know where you're coming from, Alexa. Saying that you deserve to be the Women's Champion more than Bayley. She's had way cooler matches than you.
And just so everybody knows, Eva Marie is still not in Paris. Nia Jax had her second match on the roster, taking on another debut, Kaylee Ray.
Hey!
Kaylee Ray from Scotland.
Yeah.
She's cheeky and feisty and...
Let's talk about the 3 girls who debuted in the last 2 weeks.
So we've had Evie, we've had Kaylee Ray, and Shazza McKenzie.
New Zealand, Australia, and Scotland.
What an international flair, and I like it.
I mean, let's face it here. NXT now, I mean, despite the fact that the Kaylee Ray, Shazza McKenzie, and Evie aren't full-time roster members, they're one-offs.
Yeah.
Kind of like Blue Pants. Yeah, the Americans on the NXT roster are definitely becoming outnumbered.
Because, the...
Dana, Bayley, and Alexa.
Yeah. Yep.
And Eva Marie, who's from a different planet.
Kaylee Ray took one hell of a fight to Nia Jax. She tried
so hard.
And she actually got Nia Jax down for a second with some pretty massive kicks, but her ultimate mistake was trying to get fancy, and she tried to do a springboard crossbody, and she got caught, and she got hit with that spine buster. And Nia Jax pulling out some new moves. She had the Canadian backbreaker that she did. And then instead of finishing the match with that spinebuster, she hit a massive leg drop on Kaylee before making the pin. It was better than Hulk Hogan.
Especially nowadays.
Yeah.
I don't think Hogan probably couldn't do a leg drop right now if you asked him to.
Hogan probably can't even leg drop himself into bed.
That's probably the only time he leg drops. He fantasizes about getting into the ring.
He leg drops his wife.
He leg drops into bed and then goes to sleep at 6 o'clock. Because he's old.
Yeah, this was a good showing for Kaylee Ray. I hope to see her more.
I'm going to be honest, springboard into the ring, my favorite part, even though she got her leg swept out and fucking just fell.
Just chucked across the ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because how often do you see a chick springboard?
Yeah. Not very
Apparently, Naomi does it.
Naomi, yeah.
But I forgot about that.
Yep. Up next, we had what was supposed to be a rematch between the Mechanics and Enzo and Cass, because I guess the Mechanics felt that they kind of got screwed with the roll-up win that Enzo got last week.
Yeah.
So Enzo and Cass
were happy to oblige because they wanted revenge for the fact that the Mechanics beat them up after the match.
But instead, the Mechanics beat them up a little bit more because they attacked them on the way to the ring.
Yeah. Enzo grabs the mic and says, "My name is getting my ass kicked by Scott Dawson and Dash Wilder."
Enzo got shoved off the stage, and he was done. At that point, it is now a 2-on-1 beatdown on Cass. Cass gets chucked into the LED board, his knee hitting it real hard, and then they go to fucking town on that knee.
Yeah, Dawson pulls the knee pad down, while Dash just starts punching him in the knee.
Yeah, their tag team, their ability to work with each other to just their ability to take down Cass is amazing.
Yeah. Because
you don't see tag teams do that a lot. It's usually just a lot of punches to the face and trying to wear the person out. But this is like tactical takedowns. Like they're making sure that Cass stays down.
Yeah, no, it's this everything they do is a throwback to, the NWA era tag teams.
Yeah. Which is why they call themselves the Mechanics. Is that they are so mechanically sound in the ring that they know how to, work on a body part. They know how to dismantle people.
Yeah.
And they do a great job. And this
get in, get the job done, get out.
Yeah. So they beat up the knee a little bit on the outside. Eventually get him back in. Dawson ends up getting into like a side figure 4
Almost pseudo Indian deathlock.
Yeah. Another throwback to what you loved last week. Exposing the knee, and Dash comes off the second rope with a big stomp to Cass's knee, and Cass is in so much pain.
He's yelling a lot.
He's yelling a lot. He was so upset.
It's like, ow, my knee hurts.
Needless to say, we probably won't see Enzo and Cass for at least a couple weeks.
And I was a little bit disappointed Carmella wasn't out there with him.
No, she was.
Was she there?
Yeah,
Oh,
she ended up like disappearing to the side because
Dash threw her off.
Oh god, messed up. We had Alexa challenge Bayley to a 6-person tag team match, saying, "Good luck finding 2 losers that want to team up with you and face me and my boys."
Hey, don't call the vaudevillains losers.
Well,
I'm 99% certain it's going to be the vaudevillains.
probably. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm okay with it. I hope she gets the Ascension.
It's very random.
Just because.
Alright.
Or Jordan and Gable.
That'd be neat.
Jordan and Gable versus Banff would be pretty.
That'd be a good match.
Be a good match.
I hope she gets, like, the Dudley Boys.
We had
Mark Henry and somebody. Mark Henry and Big Show.
Jesus.
Wait, Mark Henry's a huge advocate for trying to get Bayley onto the main roster.
Good. We had Who is Apollo Crews Part 2. This was him talking about making his debut in front of 13,000 people on his birthday. And just how he, like, every day he has to remind himself that this is his life. Like, it feels like a dream so often.
I'm sure you can say that for a lot of WWE superstars.
Oh,
or at least a lot of the people now who are on the or on the NXT roster and stuff like that. You know, you have to realize these people are living their dream.
Yeah, and it's a wake up call every day. It's like, oh my god, I'm actually doing this. And then he talks about how
Smiley calls him just like, wake up.
And he talks about how him and Finn are really good friends, but you know that's not going to stop him from becoming NXT champion next week.
No, and that's the exact kind of attitude he's going to need if he wants to beat Finn Balor.
Finn Balor would actually close out the show. We'll talk about this before we go into our main event. He would say that Apollo Crews is extremely impressive. And, in that Battle Royal, he beat Tyler Breeze, he beat Samoa Joe, he beat Baron Corbin. But he didn't beat Finn Balor. And, as good as he is, sure, maybe one day he's going to be NXT champion, but it's not going to be next week.
Yeah, Balor's like, you ain't going to end my reign, I'm going to be the title Nazi. No championship for you.
No. And then our main event, Tyler Breeze versus Samoa Joe. Tyler Breeze was extra cocky in this match.
Yeah, well, he thought maybe he was going to be able to Bull Dempsey his way around Samoa Joe.
Samoa Joe is not Bull Dempsey, bro.
No.
He is far from it. He is a Samoan submission machine, and he can keep fucking going. Like, Tyler Breeze, would not get in the ring at the beginning. He kept powdering out, and then eventually he got in and kind of, messed with Joe and got in the corner, and made the mistake of looking away while Joe just gets angry in the ring, and then Joe runs up and just kicks him right in the back out of his little, relaxation pose. Yeah. And, it was not a good choice for Tyler Breeze to try and be arrogant around Samoa Joe. And he learned that, and then they started to have a pretty back-and-forth match. Both guys getting a lot of their signatures in, Joe just having a strike frenzy.
Yeah, that his combination that he does in almost every single match, he put a lot of emphasis on hitting Tyler Breeze really hard.
Yeah.
When he gave him the chop across the back and then the kick to the chest before the knee drop, the chop and the kick were both extremely loud.
Yeah. And Tyler even kind of makes a pseudo comeback. He rolls out of the muscle buster.
Yeah.
And
do a sunset flip.
Yeah. Joe ends up kicking out, and he hits him with a supermodel kick. And Joe still kicks out. Breeze is losing his fucking mind.
He comes up with a brilliant idea of trying to give Joe an O'Connor roll.
not the most brilliant of moves because Joe kicks out and transitions it perfectly into the Coquita clutch.
Yeah. Well, all basically you have to do is drop your hips down.
Yeah.
And then the person falls on their ass, and then body scissors, and it's done.
Boom.
BDK.
That's no. It's Coquita clutch.
Just BDK.
There's no head here. Never mind. Tyler Breeze ends up tapping out, and Samoa Joe wins the main event. I'm wondering if this is going to continue on a little bit, or maybe this was just a one-off now that Tyler Breeze is on SmackDown.
Yeah, I'm going for one-off. I'm saying that Breeze...
Since he made his debut on SmackDown, he's not strictly SmackDown.
I'm having a hard time deciding what I think is going to happen with Tyler Breeze, only for the fact that the next takeover is still like 2 months away.
Yeah, that's a little over a month. Oh no, it is the middle of December. Yeah. I keep thinking about when WWE goes to there, because WWE does their tour the first week, and then the second week is all NXT.
So, I want to say what'll end up happening is maybe a 3-way with Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Tyler Breeze.
No Apollo Crews? You don't think Apollo Crews is going to be a factor after next week?
Not really.
Alright. Well, we'll have to wait.
They need one-off guys for the championship matches. Which has happened before.
Yeah. We'll have to wait till next week to find out who wins the NXT Championship when we have Finn Balor defending against Apollo Crews. We'll have possibly that 6-person tag match with Team Banff versus Team Bailey. And that'll probably lead into more build-up for a women's title match here pretty soon. I'm excited about that. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like, favorite, subscribe.
Click them buttons.
All them links.
All the links, because there's Facebook,
Twitter,
and there's Reddit,
Tumblr,
Instagram,
and 2 emails.
Yeah, so between that's 9 links. And we want you to
10 actually. There is 10, because my Tumblr's down there too.
Oh. Why'd you ruin it? That's a good number.
You and Thomas were complaining that Thomas was complaining that he doesn't like odd numbers, so it's like, oh, my Tumblr's down there, it makes it 10.
Oh, screw Thomas. He's only here. He's only here on Monday.
Those fighting words. Thomas, you hear that?
No, he's gonna do that on episode 100.
Oh yeah. Post down in the comments what you thought about NXT this week. What did you think about the what is your ruling on the Neville versus Rusev match? Do you think that Neville should have got the win, or should it have been a no contest? What do you think about the news that we had this week? All the signees for the Performance Center, Lucha Underground coming back.
So who do you think's in the team with Bailey?
Kurt Angle versus Ken Shamrock. Let us know all that stuff down in the comments. Thanks for everyone who's been liking, reblogging, and sharing the video. We appreciate it very, very much. And check out that playlist. It's over on the other side of Kevin Hawk. We got a Hell in a Cell review, which was insane. We have a Raw review, which had a pretty awesome little number 1 contenders tournament.
Yeah.
You can rewatch this midweek wrap up. Up next is a SmackDown rundown, and we're gonna have some indie news with some upcoming shows and a little bit of results. Do we have results this week?
ROH.
We'll have ROH results. That might be the only one. Might be all you get.
Yeah, we got there'll be upcoming AAW and CZW and Chikara shows.
Well, all right. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you at whatever video you decide to watch next.
Yeah, and we don't cost $9.99.
$9.99.